Well, that one's tough. Steelers defeat the Titans on Thursday Night Football 22-16. We appreciate you watching Titans Today by Chat Sports. My name is Jace Andrews, and we're going to talk a little news and rumors after this loss and basically discussing what to do from here on out, what to do now, and was this game the backbreaker for the rest of the season for the Titans? All coming up on today's show. Let's first look at the stat line across the board with Kenny Pickett, 19 for 30, 160 yards, 1 touchdown. You notice there, Will Levis did not have a touchdown. He did have the interception that, well, sealed the game. He had that last pick with about 11 seconds to go. Jalen Warren, the leading carrier and the leading yard rusher. Not kind of surprising there, 87 yards. We'll say it was surprising he outrushed Derrick Henry, but he is way better than Najee Harris. Kyle Phillips was the leading receiver, not DeAndre Hopkins, which we'll talk about why that happened here in just a moment. But overall, I think the initial thoughts on this game was Levis played well. I don't think he played as good as he could have been, but you have to think that he's a rookie quarterback, and he had 4 days to prepare for this. Didn't know if he was going to start, by the way. It was kind of questionable. Well, is Ryan Tannehill back? If he's back, does he get the job? So there's that. It's a primetime game, which also means that all eyes were on him because it was talked about, well, is Ryan Tannehill going to play? Is Will Levis going to play? Is Malik Willis going to play? When it was announced Will Levis was a starter, all eyes panned to him, and you can kind of tell throughout the game, like, it was kind of focusing on Will Levis and exactly what he will do. And I'm going to say this. He performed well. I think he could have done better, but he had more yards than last week. He just didn't get as many touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns last week. A little bit spoiled by last week. We'll have 1 week here. Steelers are a good defense, although not on paper. They do look good. I need your help, though, because, listen, the Titans have the Bucs next week at 12 o'clock on Sunday. And for them to get the win, you need to like this video. We want a bounce-back win coming up for the Titans as they drop to 3-5. Now, they really, really need a win to try and stay in the wild card hunt. So, like this video for a Titans bounce-back win. It helps us out. It helps the Titans out. And I know who likes the video. And if you don't like it, and then we find out and the Bucs lose, or rather the Titans lose next week, I'm going to come after you. I hate to say it, but just do the favor. Like the video. It takes 2 seconds, and it saves you from the wrath of Jace. Let's go into the Titans offense versus the Steelers. This is a good offense. 340 yards total. Passing 22 for 39, 235. Rushing 25 for 105, combining with Taj and Derrick Henry. The turnovers, though. It sucks because that was 1 turnover, but the 1 turnover came at the worst possible time possession, obviously, even between the two for the most part. But the 1 turnover hurt, and it was from Will Levis. To be quite blunt with you, Will Levis not only had an amazing game, but he also had maybe the play of the game with that interception as time, I'm not going to say expired, because Steelers did have to take a knee, but in my mind, that was the play of the game. It hurt. And there's also another play we're going to talk about here in a moment, but let's kind of dive into Will Levis here and talk about what exactly I expect from him, what I kind of see from him, and what the future is with him. I think he's better than Ryan Tannehill to lead us off. And 262 is more yards than he had last week. The 4 touchdowns was kind of spoiling us. Again, it was, I don't think something we should have expected, which I don't think we did expect, but you want to have probably at least a touchdown, 2 touchdowns here from Levis. Unfortunately, just never could get it going. The 1 interception, obviously, in the game-sealing drive was tough. Good news is Derrick Henry continues to be an absolute baller. King Henry had his touchdown that really helped us a lot, helped the game kind of flow. 17 carries, 75 yards with the long of 15. I would have liked to see Derrick Henry a little more. There were times where it felt like the Titans were running the ball well. I mean, at one point they were up 16-13, and you thought, okay, just keep running the ball. And it was a 2nd down and 6 after you just got 4 yards from Henry, and you threw the ball. And then you threw the ball on 3rd down, you didn't get anything. And you ended up having to punt it away. What's to say you don't give it to Derrick Henry? You can run a little more clock off at that time. It was around 6 minutes left. Who knows what could have happened now. I did like that they gave the ball to Taj Spears. He got 5 carries for 18 yards, but you see the title there, 1 big play. Now, what am I talking about? Well, there was a wide-open touchdown that Taj Spears got kind of turned around on. It wasn't a perfect pass from Will Levis, but if Tajay just keeps running straight, that's an over-the-shoulder catch. He catches it. He's in the end zone touchdown. And now, instead of that having to be a touchdown to win the game at the end there as time expired, it was, okay, we have 11 seconds left. Let's just let Nick Folk come out here and win the game for us because guess what? We're tied up at 20. Instead, you have to get the touchdown. Will Levis has some pressure. He feels it and immediately decides to just try and force something that wasn't there and threw it into triple coverage, got picked, and that was said and done for the night. Let me know, who do you blame for this loss? Because there's a lot of people I think we could talk about, but I don't know if it's like a one-person type thing. But who's to blame for this loss? Let me know in the comments of today's video. I'm going to say this loss stings here. Just kind of overall, it hurts. It's tough because, again, I don't think there's one person to blame, but at the same time, it stings because I think it might be Mike Vrabel. It might be Mike Vrabel. Like, ultimately, he may be the one that kind of hurt. But let's kind of get into some more positive stuff here. D-Hop had a good game again. He ended up with 4 catches for 60 yards. 29 was the long. I liked what I saw from DeAndre Hopkins. And, again, him and Will Levis are developing that connection. Funny enough, though, DeAndre Hopkins was not the leading receiver tonight. The leading receiver was Kyle Phillips. He had 4 catches for 68 yards with a 24 long. Obviously, big help there with that 24 on the catch and the long. But Kyle Phillips and Will Levis had a pretty good connection today. Liked what I saw from those two, and hopefully that can continue throughout this entirety of the season. I know that, listen, it's not going to be like a one-time thing where Kyle Phillips comes in and does this, but the hope is to kind of get him more involved with this offense and more involved in what's going on. All right, I talked about Mike Vrabel, and he may be the one to blame. Do you think it's time to fire Mike Vrabel? Let me know. I mean, I didn't like what I saw from him tonight. I know that he's a defensive-minded coach, and you give up 20 points to a team that's offense was terrible. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know, is it time to fire Mike Vrabel? I'm going to let you know, but you know what it's not time to do? It's not time to not get on PrizePicks, because it's time to get on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America, and it's easy to see why. PrizePicks is a skill-based, real daily fantasy sports game, and with basketball season here, it's the perfect time to start on PrizePicks. You can now pick combo projections across the NBA and NFL, so you can pick more on, say, Travis Kelce touchdowns and Jason Tatum points. Check it out at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. My PrizePicks tonight hit. It kind of sucks because it hit because of Deontay Johnson's touchdown and not DeAndre Hopkins, but I got it. Guess what? I put 10 on this. I won 50. Bingo, bango. 10 for 50. I'm rich. $40 right there on my entry. I picked the more on Will Levis. I picked the more on DeAndre Hopkins. And I picked the more on the touchdowns for DeAndre Hopkins and Deontay Johnson. Obviously, Johnson getting the touchdown pass. Quick withdrawals and easy gameplay and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what make PrizePicks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Testing my skills on PrizePicks this season has been the most exciting way to play DFS. If you have the skills, just like me, I turned $10 into 50. Well, you can actually turn 10 into 250 with just a few taps. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match of up to $100. Shout out to PrizePicks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy, and to be quite honest with you, it's the only place I go to play daily fantasy sports. Okay, should Mike Vrabel be fired? Why for yes and for no? I think why. And I'm going to tell you why. Kind of wrapped. He needs to be, I don't know if fired's the right word, but like he needs to be on the hot seat because like you have Derrick Henry, you have DeAndre Hopkins. And I will say this. I have why now. If he puts Ryan Tannehill in next week against the Bucs, I complete that why. I make it yes. I'd have it why for now. It could be yes. Right now it's just why. Because if Tannehill starts, I don't know what to say, which we'll talk about here in a minute. The guy on defense to look at was Azis Shakur, who from FAU looked good. 10 tackles, 1 pass breakup, the leading tackler for the Tennessee Titans. He was in on every play, was able to stop the run a couple times, good in coverage when he needed to be. I liked what I saw from Azis. If he can continue this, I think he'll be the leader on defense with Kevin Byard gone. That was kind of my initial thought when the Kevin Byard trade happened, that Azis was the #1 guy on defense, but today kind of proved it. Last week, it wasn't much of a defensive game, to be honest. I mean, there's a lot of Will Levis' touchdowns. So that's kind of the thing there. Which, speaking of Will Levis, who should start next week? I gave my opinion just a minute ago. You know what I think. And I want to know yours. Is it time for Will Levis to start? Or is Ryan Tannehill deserve his spot back? Let me know who should start. Type WL for Will Levis. Type RT for Ryan Tannehill. I'm going to put this in the comment section. So let us know what you think. Type Will Levis. Yeah, type WL. If you want Ryan Tannehill, type RT. I'm putting WL all day. The next 5 games look like this. You're at the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. You're at Jacksonville. Big game there. AFC South matchup, it's a game you need to win. Versus the Panthers, again, game against Bryce Young, number 1 overall pick on a team that has been struggling. You got to get a win there. Versus the Colts, again, AFC South, and then at Dolphins. Honestly, taking out the Dolphins game, you have the Jaguars, Panthers, Colts, Buccaneers right there in the next 4. Bucs, Jaguars, Panthers, Colts, and do it the proper way there in the chronological order. I think you have to win 3 of those games to be in the wild card hunt. That's what you got to do, and that's the hope. We'll have to see, though. There was one big thing that happened in this game, and I want to mention it. Prayers up for Treylon Burks. The update we have right now is that he has mobility in his arms and legs. He is with a neurosurgeon. There hasn't been a decision yet on whether or not he's going to go to the hospital. Given he's been with a neurosurgeon for a little bit, I'm hoping that means he's fine. He's going to stay with the medical staff of Pittsburgh and with the Tennessee's medical staff, and hopefully will make the travel home tomorrow. He got hurt in a play in the 4th quarter on a pass that honestly it looked like a normal play, but prayers up for Burks. We're going to keep you updated on Treylon throughout this upcoming weekend. Probably have a video for you on him on Sunday. We'll kind of let you know exactly what's going on with him, but we'll keep you updated throughout this time. Sunday will probably be the next update we get because honestly, Tennessee's got to travel back home, which maybe happens tonight, maybe happens tomorrow. I'm probably going to get an update on him maybe Saturday evening, so we'll probably get you the update Sunday morning on Treylon. But prayers up for Burks. Didn't like what we saw. Hope is he's fine. Obviously, it kind of goes away from football now, but we appreciate you watching. Again, final score, Steelers 20, Titans 16. Tough loss. I think you got to bounce back. It hurts because that really hurts the wild card hunt. And kind of thought that maybe you could get the win here, bounce back to 500, and possibly start your trek to the wild card when now you're 2 games under, and it kind of hurts. Make sure you're subscribed so you get your Titans content every day here on Titans Today. And we will see you in the next video with an update of Treylon Burks and hopefully some positive news on that. Peace out.